And we now have another case study of a region that was able to address an issue in the health sector and come up with a solution for it. So I'd now like to invite Professor Paul Worley to the stage. He's the Executive Director of Clinical Innovation at the Riverland Mallee Coorong Local Health Network.
Nankarinangi Noniandu to Naranjeri Rui. It's great to be here. I want to bring you some good news about the health sector. Now you may say that's impossible, but it's not. Certainly there's a problem. We know there's a gap in health outcomes for Aboriginal people nationally. You may not also be aware, but it's a similar gap if you look at the life expectancy remote versus urban populations. There's a gap in health outcomes. The WHO says that for every year of increased life expectancy, you increase GDP by 4%. Investment in health is an investment in wealth, but most of that investment's happening in the cities. All of you would know that our systems essentially are locum-led rather than being locally led. We've changed that. In the Riverland Academy of Clinical Excellence, which is an initiative of Riverland Mallee Coorong Local Health Network, this health service here that we're in right here in Murray Bridge and the Riverland, we've recruited 25 doctors in the last 18 months. We have an FTE of about 100 total in our region, and that's including the general practices. We don't take a hospital versus general practice. So how have we increased our workforce by 25% in 18 months? Firstly, we've realised what sort of doctor we need. We need doctors that are trained to be GPs, also to work in emergency, and also to provide those other skills that ordinarily specialists would provide in the city. Those sort of doctors are called rural generalists. Secondly, we decided that one of the major problems for us was that we had outsourced our supply chain for our most valuable commodity, our workforce. How had we done that? We'd relied on doctors being trained in the cities and then having to recruit them to the country. Why has that been the case? There were very good reasons 100 years ago for why that was the case. And that's because the cities were the places where all the learning was, where all the expertise was, where the libraries were that you learnt medicine. Where is the library that you learn medicine from now? Right there. But in addition to having a bit of knowledge, you have to have a bit of wisdom. So can you have wisdom? Third thing we did was we made sure we recruited some wise senior doctors who could be the trainers for the next generation. Next thing we did was we said, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Many of you will have seen that there was an advertisement for a rural generalist to work in Lameroo, next to the Pies farms, which was offering $450,000 to $750,000 per annum. And people would have gone, that's crazy. Do you know that that's the standard salary for a doctor at the Royal Adelaide Hospital? That's the standard salary for a consultant at Flinders Medical Centre. And yet somehow we think we can afford to pay rural doctors less. So we decided we're going to pay them the same, and we're going to offer salaries. And in particular, we're going to offer salaries to doctors when they are making their career decision. When do they make their career decision? Many of you will know that there's a 4 or 6 year university program. There's then a 5-year postgraduate program for training before you become a fully qualified doctor. It's during that time that you make your career decisions. So we have offered junior doctors a 5-year contract at exactly the same pay that they would get if they were a junior doctor in the city, with the opportunity to then progress to become a consultant on the same pay as if you would get in the city. Not having to pay more, not having to have some golden handcuffs that sort of bind you, Because all of those incentives and all of those handcuffs, what do they say about us? They say, you're a pretty rotten place to work, that we've got to pay you more or we've got to provide all these extra incentives. There must be something wrong to be a professional in that area. No, so we decided that we were going to make our area the best place to come and work. We were going to offer excellence as the incentive rather than recruiting people who were either mercenaries, misfits or missionaries, which, having been a rural doctor, I must fit into one of those categories, or all three at different times. But you would have all seen that. No, why can't we, instead of mercenaries, missionaries or misfits, actually look at recruiting people who are magnificent? Now, you may say that's impossible, that's a pipe dream. Well, firstly, 25 people have signed up to it. They're not requiring houses to rent because they're buying houses in our region because this is where they are going to live. This is where their kids are going to school. If they go back to the city, someone's going to have to provide them incentive to get back to the city. 25 people have signed up to it. Is excellence, is magnificence achievable? 2 rural doctors in the United States thought so. 100 years ago, they founded a rural generalist practice in Minnesota, small town. They said, our patients deserve the best quality care that you can get in the world. So they went around to find out what that best quality was, gradually built up, built up, built up. People started coming from all around. Do you know what their surname was? Mayo. The Mayo Clinic is a rural clinic. We may not be the Mayo Clinic yet, but the Riverland Academy of Clinical Excellence, conceived by our CEO, Wayne Champion, and an initiative of the whole community, reckons the evidence says we're going to get there. Thank you.